Hey everybody, welcome to Deja's 411. Welcome to Deja's 411. Hey, what is up, guys? Hey. So, tonight's topic is something that I feel like everyone needs to hear this. Like, there's so many people that are going through this on the daily basis. I feel like I'm saving lives right now. For real. So, we're still reading Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself by Dr. Joe Dispenza. This is chapter 6, part 4 of the chapter. This topic is like, it just reaches home for me so much. So, do you guys like have someone in your life that you absolutely just can't stand to be around? Like, every time you're around them, they just make your blood boil, or they just make you anxious, or they just stress you out. Like, some of these people might be your coworkers. I can relate. Some of these people might be your spouse. I can relate. If you have children, some of these people might be your kids. I know we love these kids. We love them. But they get on our nerves sometimes. And then so many people just might be the people you pass, or just, your in-law. Your in-law might drive you freaking crazy. But how can you not allow them to ruin who you're trying to become, to ruin your self-image, to ruin pretty much your self-awareness? So tonight we're going to talk about how you can be more self-aware by being in tune with your consciousness in order for you to pretty much just continue living your best life, continue being the best you possible. Because if you're like me, which I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys can relate, have you ever, woke up, felt in a good mood, you were in a good groove, and then all of a sudden you get to work or you get around certain people and they just kill your entire vibe. And you're like, no, I'm a good person. I'm working on me. I'm working on my self-development. I'm not going to let these people ruin this for me. But you catch yourself just slipping. You catch yourself just being so caught up in the environment, so caught up in the moment, that it's very difficult for you to continue to act that way. For you to continue to be positive, for you to continue to be motivated, and for you just to continue just being the you that you really want to be. Like, sometimes it gets to be very difficult, but what can you do? How can you continue to still be and build that person and not allow people outside of you to disrupt that, to disrupt all the progress that you've been making? And people will sometimes intentionally try to do this to you. Sometimes they will intentionally try to bother you with their problems. Sometimes they will intentionally try to, push those buttons on you. Even though we don't have buttons, but they'll try to push those buttons to get a reaction out of you. But what can you do? I'm going to talk about that. So in the book, we're going to go over certain habits, certain, like a way of thinking, a way of being, in order for us to proceed and be the person that we are trying to be. So the last video we talked about was pretty much how we can do from thinking to being to doing. Well, thinking to doing to being. So we think a thought and then we act off of it, and then to being, meaning it's on a subconscious level of thinking where it just happens automatically and we don't have to consciously think about everything. So I'm going to go ahead and get into the next topic now and help you with this, because this is real. The struggle has been so real. I can relate, but we're not going to let that get us down, because that's not what bosses do. All right. So over the next few days, you have mentally rehearsed your new ideal of self to continue to install more neurological hardware, so you'll have the proper circuits in place and effect a new software program. So by surrounding old thought patterns, interrupting habitual emotional reactions, and forgiving knee-jerk behaviors, then planning and rehearsing new ways of being, you are putting yourself into an equation of that knowledge you learned and beginning to create a new mind. You are reminding yourself who you want to be. When you become aware of or notice who you are being, who you are becoming, conscious of your unconscious self, then essentially you begin to rewire your neural circuitry to look as though the event, being compassionate toward, so they gave an example of like being compassionate toward a mother-in-law, I'll get into that in a second, of an event had already taken place. Once those new neural networks begin to fire in unison, your brain created a picture, vision, model, or what I call a hologram, representing the ideal self that you were focused on being. I'm going to explain this information. So basically it's saying once you become consciously aware of your behavior. I'm going to give you an example of me, okay? I relate to this so much. So lately, I don't know what it is, but sometimes my moods fluctuate. You know, sometimes I'm up, sometimes it's down, but I'm consciously aware of this. And it's also because, like, I have some medical issues, quote unquote, and I had to take certain medications that make me sometimes my emotions up and down. But I don't let that control me. I don't let that be a story that I tell myself. I don't let that be any type of weakness, because I'm a very strong being. I'm a very strong person, and I will never let any physical element control my life, no matter what it is. So I don't let that be an excuse, no matter how I'm feeling or what the circumstances is. I know that I'm healthy. I know that I'm amazing, and I know that I have control of myself. So that's not an excuse. But every now and then, you know, I feel sometimes that I'm consciously aware of my emotions going up and down. So then I have to make sure that my thoughts are aligning with my emotions, because I know who I want to be. I know who I am. I'm not even going to say who I want to be. I know who I am, and all the work that I've been striving for and all the action that I've been taking daily, consistently, nonstop. And I'm not going to let any negative emotion disrupt that at all. So pretty much you have to know your ideal self. Who are you? Who do you want to be? Some people, many people, most people claim to be Christians, but they don't act like Christians. So if you're claiming to be a Christian, someone that's constantly going to your Bible meetings, someone that says you are a representation of God, but yet you are acting something completely different of that, then you are not being that ideal self. Because here's the thing, I understand certain things outside of us can, you know, stress us out, can throw us off course to a degree, but you're not to allow that happen. They'll try to do those things, but whether or not you allow that to happen is up to you. So here's the thing, they gave an example about, you know, someone with having issues with their mother-in-law, okay? So every time this person had to see their mother-in-law, she would just dread it. She had like this event that she was invited to, and she knew her mother-in-law was going to be there, and she's just like, oh my gosh, I can't stand being around this person because they did something to me in the past, and I can't forgive this person. But as soon as she changed her thought process, as soon as she left what happened in the past and only focused in the present, that's when she was able to focus on what was currently happening and really to see her mother-in-law for who she is now instead of who she was in the past or something that she did to her. She showed compassion. So when you are compassionate, you are showing forgiveness, you are showing empathy, you are showing love, you are putting yourself in that other person's shoes instead of judging them. And I know sometimes that can be very difficult for us because we have to do something that is very, you know, out of character. We have to humble ourselves. We have to put our ego aside, okay? We have to put our ego aside. We can't try to become someone different and still holding on to our ego, still latching on to our ego. There's times where I feel emotionally up and down, but if I do anything that I feel is against of who I am as a successful entrepreneur, as a successful person, as a compassionate person, I immediately correct it. I don't wait. I immediately correct my actions automatically. So it's starting to be a conscious, like an unconscious awareness for me. So once you start to understand and really be able to monitor your way of thinking, your way of actions, like you'll be able to do this on an unconscious level at this point, meaning you won't have to think about it. Because I'm so aware of my thought process and my actions attached and who I am, who I'm becoming, the person, the image, the visual image of this person I'm becoming, because it's so clear and because I'm so precise and specific and clear, anything that goes against that, I automatically correct it. And it's to the point where so now my habits, my actions are starting to be habitual. It's starting to be to the point where I don't have to think about it anymore, and I don't have to correct myself anymore because it's who I am. And compared to who I used to be, I was the type of person, like, if I was wrong, I would admit I was wrong, but I would do it in a harsh way. Like, I'd be like, okay, whatever, move on. Like, I would be like petty with it, but that's not the way to be. That's not showing compassion. You have to be able to show compassion towards one another, showing that love. Because if you're forgiving to someone else, you get what you give. So if you are giving compassion, if you are giving love, if you are giving patience and kindness and just support to other people, you're going to get that back 10 times fold. You're going to constantly get that in your life. And law of attraction is real. So what you're putting out into the universe, you are going to get it back. Good or bad. Some people call it karma. It's law of attraction, baby. Law of attraction. You get what you give. Okay? So, yeah, you start to be able to rewire your neural circulatory to look as though the event has already taken place. So what that's saying is, when you start to change your thought patterns, when you start to be able to see the good in people versus seeing the bad, that's how you get over. That's how you're going to be able to coexist with your coworkers. That's how you're going to be able to coexist with your spouse and be able to be around your children, but not just do it in a way where you're like holding everything in. You're going to genuinely want to be around these people. You're going to genuinely care for these people. You're going to genuinely just have this new way of being that's in unison with the person that you're striving to become. Because the person you're striving to become, they don't want to forcibly, they don't want to have to force that love on someone else, far as how they feel. Love when you feel love. Love should not be forced. Compassion should not be forced. Kindness should not be forced. If you feel like you are forcing it, then you haven't mastered it yet. And you're still on a very conscious level. Being on a conscious level with recognizing the type of person you are in your actions, it's better than not being on a conscious level, because some people don't know why they do certain things. Some people just still are figuring this out. But if you are consciously aware of the things you're doing and understanding that it's wrong and you know how to correct it, then you are halfway there. So all hope is not gone. I promise you guys, all hope is not gone. So let's get into the next part, okay? This is getting good. All right. So when you have mastered a new personality trait, this is what happens, okay? Can you repeatedly embody compassion independent of conditions in your environment so that no person or situation could ever create that old state of being in you again? If not, you haven't mastered yet compassion. My definition of mastery is that our internal chemical state is greater than anything in our external world. I'm going to say that again. Our internal chemical state is greater than anything in our external world. Meaning anything going on around you, because you're so at peace with yourself. I've seen this in some people. There's some people that are just so at peace. Like my mentor, he's so at peace with himself. He does not let anything or anyone outside of him disrupt his peace. And sometimes when you have that way of being, some people think that you don't care. It's not that you don't care. You are just so in tune with your emotions that you don't contribute your energy to anything negative, anything that's not self-becoming. Do you understand? And I've been doing that so much. It's crazy, because it's typically I would get so hot-headed and I would get so upset. I'm a Taurus. Sometimes we get upset fast. But I'm just no, that's not who I am anymore. That's not who I'm becoming. No, I'm not going to let everything I've been working for, and the same thing for you. You should not let everything that you've been working for, who you have been striving so hard to become, all those late nights, all those early mornings, all those conference calls, all those tears, all that stress that you had to endure in order to get you where you are right now. Never, ever let anyone sidetrack you or outside of you stop you from who you are becoming, from who you are, because you already are that person. You've embodied this new person. So are you going to represent them in the best light? I have to represent the best me in the best light. I can't be a contradicting type of person that says one thing and acts another way. I have to be in unison as a whole with who I am, with the messages that I'm giving to you. Everything, with my family, with my boyfriend, with everyone, my coworkers, everyone. And that can be difficult, but this is why the remaining part of this book is so important, okay? So once you are in unison with your external world, okay, so you are a master when you've conditioned yourself with chosen thoughts and feelings. You've memorized desired emotional chemical states, and nothing in your external life deters you from your aims. No person, no thing, no experience at any time or place should disrupt your internal chemical coherence. You can think, act, and feel differently whenever you choose. So at this point, you have become powerful. At this point, when you choose to act in a certain way, feel in a certain way, have your body respond in a certain way, you have mastered showing compassion and also honestly showing self-awareness and just having control over yourself. When you master that, that's when amazing things start to happen. That's when you really start to become powerful. When you have complete control over you. You can't control everything around your environment, but you can control how you respond to them, because how you respond is creating a future event. It's creating a future you. Everything is connected. Everything is working either for you or against you. So the choice is yours. What decision will you make? Okay? So the next topic was if you can master suffering, you can just as easily master joy. Now, do you guys know some people who are just miserable? Like, they just miserable. You go to work, it's the morning. It's like, hey guys, happy Monday. Hey guys, happy Wednesday. It's the weekend. How y'all doing? And then they look at you like, hey. I'm like, what's wrong? I don't want to be here. I'm just like, damn. Like, what you so mad for? Like, they will try to bring your energy down. They are just not happy. You'll try to invite them out to do things, and they're just not happy. But that's just because they're not happy with themselves. They have something bigger going on that's above you. So they gave a scenario. So you probably know someone who has mastered suffering, right? So you call her and ask, let's give it a scenario. You call someone and ask, how are you? They say, so. Listen, I'm going out with some friends to a new art gallery and then eat at a restaurant that has really healthy desserts. After, we're going to listen to some live music. Would you like to come with us? And guess what the person says? No, I don't feel like it. But this is what it's saying. This is what she really saying, okay? I'm going to give y'all the real. But if she said what she really meant, she'd say, I've memorized this emotional state. And nothing in my environment, no person, no experience, no condition, no thing, y'all, is going to move me from this internal chemical state of suffering, okay? It feels better to be in pain, and all these things that you want to do might distract me from my emotional dependency. So because I'm just so happy with being miserable because this is what I'm used to, I don't want anything to distract me from this misery, okay? So, but guess what? We can just as easily master an internal chemical state such as joy or compassion. So just like how you've mastered misery, you can definitely master joy. It's possible. So if every day you wake up miserable, if every day you wake up just like dragging and just not looking forward to the day, not looking forward to the events that are going to take place, you've mastered misery. You've mastered suffering. But guess what? Just as easily as you've mastered that, you can wake up in a good mood. You can wake up saying, all praises to the Most High. I'm so grateful. Thank you, boo. If you got a boo in your bed, mwah, I love you, baby. I'm so happy that I woke up next to you this morning and your heart's beating. Like, you can just be grateful. You can just show gratitude. But it can be memorized. But just as easy as you've conquered and mastered suffering, you can master joy. So it's easy. It's up to you. It's really up to you. Okay? So in the preceding example with your mother-in-law, I talked about, the person that she didn't like. If you practice your thoughts, behaviors, and feelings enough times, being compassionate would become rather natural. You would evolve from just thinking about it to doing something about it to being it. So when it says being it, it means that it's easy, natural, second nature, routine, and unconscious. So when you are consciously practicing being a great person, being kind, being loving, being, good with your finances, being the best spouse, the best mother, the best coworker possible, if you practice those things consciously, then it's going to become who you are, because now you're rewiring your body in a different chemical response. You're going to get a different chemical reaction based off your new thoughts, based off your new feelings, based off the new you. And your body's going to recognize that, and your body's going to support that. So it's easy. It's not that hard. But you have to first start. You have to just get started. That's it. Just get started. That's all you got to do. All right? So when compassion becomes unconditionally ordinary and familiar to you, you have progressed from knowledge to experience to wisdom. I really feel like I'm the queen of wisdom. People do not believe that I'm 24. Did y'all know I was 24? Yeah, I'm 24. People don't believe I'm 24 because I'm just so wise, because I'm just so intelligent, because I'm just such a boss, because I'm just so freaking amazing. Just like you. You are freaking amazing, okay? You are amazing. So it's time for you to start acting like it. Do not let anyone control or impact who you are, your emotions. If you're working towards something big, keep working towards that thing. Do not allow people outside of you to distract you from that. Be consciously aware of your thoughts. Be consciously aware of your emotions. So this way, no one at all will have power over you. You will be in full control, okay? So if you want to continue to take control of your life, click the link in the video, okay? I have an amazing present for you guys, an amazing gift. This is free, and this is something that I'm sharing with you, something that I'm using, something that I've used and I'm continuously using, and many people that I know, many people around the world, thousands of people are benefiting from these hacks and that are helping you transform your current self into your future self times 10. So the person you are today, imagine that times 10. Can you see the person? Can you see the income, the money flowing into your bank account constantly? Can you see your husband, your wife smiling, happy, eating a steak dinner, just enjoying your company, enjoying the moment, enjoying your life? Can you see your children running to you, saying, "Mommy, mommy, I want this toy," and you can say, "Yes, baby, you can have it. You can have it because you deserve it, because you're the best." Can you just imagine having all of these amazing things in your life, and then you knowing deep down, this is because I took one action. I took the action to click the link in the description to help me have more for myself, to help my life grow, to help my family grow, to help me grow as a person. That's all I got for you guys. Thanks for watching DJs 411. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe to this video. It will be on YouTube in a few. So make sure you like, share, subscribe to this video. And if you guys have any questions, DM me. And hope you enjoyed this video on DJs 411. Bye.